So, damn, today was a real insane day. I got up in the morning. We did some things from the house. Gave the kids some breakfast, and then after that, it was like just shit. It was like wild, man. Like I was in a lot of pain, and so at the end, I found myself at the hospital. Right, so I'm going up to like labor and delivery to like be seen and what have you, and initially the first time around I was extremely early, so basically they didn't want to take me there. They actually told me to go to the ER, which was a whole other hell because everybody knows that there's 1,000 people over there, that they have all kinds of conditions. So almost all the nurses and doctors that are in there are always doing something. Well, anyways, so my automatic response to that was to actually just go up to DNL, which is labor and delivery. And so when I first arrived there, I was greeted by what I thought was a friendly nurse. And was I not to find that out? So I guess I kind of messed up because they didn't realize that I am in the public eye. They didn't realize that I got multiple platforms everywhere. And trust when I tell you, I'm really good for exposing people who do dark things. And as the saying goes, whatever you do in the dark will always come to light. Well, anyways, let's continue here. And so, you see, I haven't even taken my stupid freaking hospital thing off. And so, I got there. She was like, "Oh, how can I help you?" And so I was given a paper, to fill out, to have information on me and this and the third and whatever. And at the end of everything, they gave me a room. But I was mad to start with because they were giving me a roommate. I am not adjusted or like acclimated to having a roommate. Typically during pregnancy, you don't have roommates. You're literally by yourself to start with. And so, I was kind of pissed off because of that, so I just, I don't want to say that, like, I was kind of mean, but I did kind of get past the nurse, and I walked in there. Obviously, I went to the side, and I waited there for the nurse to come in, and she was like, "Oh, well, you got to get in your gown, put these socks on, and we'll just take it from there." And then the thing that blew me away was that we're starting to talk, we're in the process of like, she's connecting me to the monitor to check the baby's heart rate. She put the other machine to check if I was having active contractions, because with placenta previa, it is a fatal condition, so they do have to, check for all of that stuff. And so she did that. And so midway, I was getting a call from the people downstairs. And this lady was asking me like some real easy, quick questions. And so I was done before you knew it. But then the lady, I guess the nurse that was upset, basically like told me that I had to undo everything. And then what really, really pissed me off is that she told me that, but then yet the woman who was next to me, who, had probably been there for a couple more minutes, but essentially was there for almost exactly the same identical damn thing, except in her condition, she had an abortion, she had a DNC because of a miscarriage, and all of that. So I felt like there was that kind of bias there automatically, apart from the racist tendencies and things like that. And so, time and time went by, and I was like, like in my head, because I was not going to talk to a person like that. And actually, at one point, I was about to send her out of the... I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make you get your freaking charge nurse if you don't quit acting a fool. And so obviously I was thinking that I never made anything verbal. And so by that time the dumb lady walked out, and I didn't see one, I saw two different doctors, which actually kind of really threw me off. Because when you're in labor and delivery, typically they only either will have you see your doctor that is assigned to your baby, or to your specific case. And so I saw two different doctors. The first doctor was a lady doctor who was checking the baby via ultrasound. But one thing that really made me mad was that she only did the ultrasound for about probably maybe all but 7 minutes, and the other person got like almost 11 minutes. As a matter of fact, they were even able to hear the baby's heart, which actually I got to hear my baby's heartbeat as well, but it was only for a few seconds. But it was long enough for me to know that she's okay. But my thing is like the bias that was there. I think that was a big issue for me. Number one. Number two, the fact that there were those racial tendencies. And I'm like, look, I mean, this lady, the nurse that I had assigned to my case, was acting like as if I were, illegal here. And I'm like, I'm an educated Hispanic woman, person of faith, obviously. And I think overall they could tell that about me, is that, that I was a person of faith. And perhaps maybe that's what the issue was. Or to some extent that was part of the problem. And so she's like going over my history and stuff. And I was explaining to her. And I'm like, but then yet this person who's next to me, you're not going to have no issue with them. You're going to treat them well and whatever. And so at one point she stepped out of the room, and I guess she was shit talking or whatever. And there were 3 nurses. No, I'm sorry, 4. So there were the nurse that I had that was being stupid, and then there were the other 2 nurses. Well, the third nurse called her out on her crap, telling her to stop. And then it just so happens that the second doctor that I was going to be seeing was literally walking down the hallway, and he caught the nurse that I had being stupid. And so he basically called this lady out on her shit for acting that way with me, period. And so then as everything was transpiring, I'm like, all right, I'm about to jot down everything. I'm going to tell my husband. Like, I'm not, even though he had to be with the kids and what have you, like, I'm not going to put up with crap like that. I'm absolutely not. And everybody, and all my close friends, everybody who knows me knows that I won't put up with anything. And so as soon as she left, I got on my phone, texted my husband. I'm like, she's doing this, that, and the other. The blood pressure cuff that they put on your arm, she put that on and she didn't press the proper buttons. She wasn't doing nothing, correctly. Another thing that really kind of like disturbed me, if anything, was that she put ultrasound jelly on my stomach to put the monitor on there. However, she didn't have a towel to clean it off. And so she just like simultaneously was like basically like using the bedding. And I'm like, and in my head, my first thought was, wow, you're disgusting. And then my second thought was, you are grossly unprofessional. And then my fourth one was, you probably don't got no business working in a maternity ward at all, period. And that's just what it is. I don't think at that time she realized who she was speaking with. And they didn't realize that I have multiple platforms, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, because I'm not going to stay quiet about something as moronic as that. And so, the doctor called her out on her shit, basically. And he like when I heard this man, like my room door was shut, because there wasn't just myself, it was the other mom too. And so it was completely closed. And I could actually hear the doctor chewing her out. And so I'm like, okay, in that time, I was kind of not alleviated. Excuse me. Not alleviated, but I was relieved. There you go. That's the proper word. I was relieved to see that Dr. Todd told her off. And for me, it was a what the hell moment because, I'm 18 weeks at this point. And she was like complaining to me because I was 18 weeks. And I was like, I had placenta previa. It's not like it's something to take lightly. Placenta previa is a life-threatening condition for both mom and baby. And so it can absolutely kill, both of us or one of us if whatever issues I have during that present time are not treated. And so that's why, I was doing my part to go make sure that the little one was fine. Like in my case, when I go back to see my doctor, more than likely, I'm going to get a nasty drink. I'm going to have to drink it. Spend 3 hours there doing essentially nothing. And getting tested for diabetes. And that's something that I mentioned to Dr. Todd and to the other lady doctor that came in to speak with me at the beginning. I was like, look, like I am really lightheaded. Like I don't know if apart from my gallbladder stones, if maybe there's something else going on. I don't know. But I do know it was really like taxing. Like I felt like it took honestly a whole lot out of me not to snap at this lady because my kids know this about me. My best friends know this about me. And by the way, I got 2. Actually 3. And they know that I don't put up with nothing. So like for me it just like was like, you gotta take it like a grain of salt. So I had to, this is how disgusting this woman was, how grossly unprofessional she was. Never in 100 years did I would think that of all the hospitals, Mountain View freaking Hospital would be the one. Mountain View Hospital in Las Vegas, Nevada, Clark County has always been reputable for the good nurses and doctors that they have there. They have one of the best reputations in town. And so that's kind of why I've always given my continuous trust to them. And so, come today, and I got caught off guard, dealing with this lady. But the number one thing that I thought was absolutely disgusting and just flat out wrong was that she was instructing me how to undo myself from these machines that I'm not being paid for it. I'm not being given a paycheck. This lady is. And so I took a big freaking issue with that. I'm like, bitch, if you don't want to do your job, F out of here. Okay, it's simple. You don't like your job, get out. And, that was the entire rest of the time I was there, that was just like my demeanor. I'm like, if you're that miserable, you hate your job, get out. Because at this point, you're not just affecting your coworkers. You're not just affecting the parents. You're affecting the little ones that are being born in this ward. It's everybody, not one or the other. It's literally everybody. And so I had heard one of the other nurses like kind of, going off on her too because she was over there running her mouth, being stupid and what have you. And so that nurse, she was like, you need to stop. And legitimately called this other stupid nurse who goes by the name of Jennifer, by the way, called her on her shit. But then just as she was stopping to tell her off, Dr. Todd, which happened to be the doctor that was coming into my room to see me, literally overheard down the hallway. And so at that point, Dr. Todd flipped out and he was like, you know what? You better stop. And this man, boy, when he gets mad, he's one of those. because I heard him from where the desk was to my room, like legit telling her off. And I was just really grateful for that because this lady was not professional. She basically had me unplugging all this machinery by myself, which I personally had a problem with that because I'm not being given a paycheck for it. Now, if I were paying myself to go to the ER and tell myself whatever the hell I need to know, then yeah, by all means. But I'm not, so I'm not. And that's why I had a problem with it. Um, at the end of everything, I end up disconnecting the monitor from my stomach, disconnecting the arm cuff. Thank God there was no IV or anything because I probably would have had to undo that one too, because that's how unprofessional this nurse was. And I think I said her name. Her name was Jennifer. And she works in Mountain View Hospital in the maternity ward. Of all the flipping wards to work in, this woman chose that one, which I don't even know why, but she chose the wrong ward to go to work for. I have never been one to put up with anybody's shit. I don't think I ever will be, and I don't think I'm going to start to. And the whole time that she was acting like that with me, being unprofessional and disgusting just in general, I was texting my husband, as the whole thing was transpiring. And I don't think that stupid ass lady, oops, my bad. I don't even think that lady, sorry, YouTube, I don't think she even knew it. Thank you. She had no idea that I was texting my husband. No idea that I even looked at her name tag. Or maybe she did, and maybe that's why she was slightly, disturbed by it, which I really don't give a damn. She earned every ounce of what she got. Dr. Todd told her off. One of the other nurses told her off. And I'm pretty near darn certain that the other doctor that was there dealing with me as well told her something, because I could hear it all. But that's the problem, and I've said it once, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it one final last time. These colleges that are saying that people can apply, get scholarships, and be registered nurses within 12 months, I am so sorry, Pima Institute, and I hate to come across like I'm talking shit about your school, but that's just what it is. You guys cannot give these women or men, because there are man nurses too, you cannot afford to just give them registered nurse degrees and licenses and all kinds of stuff in 12 months. Okay? You have got to stop doing that, because you are turning the medical system into garbage. It is your college, apart from the rest of them clown colleges that are out there, because here in Las Vegas, we all know the schools that are legit schools that are accredited. And I hate to break it to you, but your institute, it ain't one. Okay? Number one. And number two, I'm just going to say it for what it is. Pima Institute, you need to stop giving your students their RNs and their licenses at 12 months. Because I can tell you for a fact, they are not ready. They are absolutely not ready. And I know I'm probably going to get backlash for it, right? There's a handful that they need to be up in there for a lot longer. I would say maybe 2-3 years, actually, easy. And not because I want to be a jerk, but because that's how it has to be. Because if you're teaching these women or these guys, whatever, and X amount of time down the line, you find out that they're angry, that they're bitter, or that they're just ugly people in general, not physically, but internally, the way they think, the way they are in their heart, the way they are, and the way they present themselves. If they are generally bitter, ugly people like that, probably not the best of ideas to give them a damn RN. Okay? And that's embarrassing coming from me, because I didn't go to any kind of medical school. I was doing law school.
I wanted to do law enforcement and possibly
be a paralegal. And so, all my efforts, my major that I was doing in school my minor was in fine arts, but my major was criminal justice. So when I say for somebody to say something like that, like myself, pretty damn bad. I studied natural holistic medicine for almost 11 years. Natural Ayurvedic holistic medicine. That's what I know. I know real medicine. I don't know that fake stuff. Alright? And let me tell you one and two for sure. Natural Ayurvedic medicine works. There's a lot of you doctors that know about it, but y'all refuse to tell your patients about it. Y'all, we know what's up. We are not stupid. Okay? Stop it, Gruff. But let me make one thing clear. Just one. Pima Institute, either you need to be shut down or you need to look at your policies and your regulations and do not give RNs to just any woman or man that walks up in your door just because. It is messing up the medical community, these hospitals all around Las Vegas. You guys are literally turning out to be a sham. And I'm more than certain that I am not the first one that has told you this. I would say 3 years maximum to even be considered for an RN or any kind of other licenses to be in a medical hospital or any kind of practice. And before you jump the gun saying that I don't know what the F I'm talking about, I studied natural Ayurvedic medicine for 11 years. And I've been actually asked to work with countless groups out there. I declined because I'm not going to work for any corrupt individuals. I'm not. So before you try to question my knowledge, understand that I do have it. Understand that I studied Ayurvedic medicine for almost 11 years. And it's an ongoing process. But let me tell you what Pima Institute and these other clown, ridiculous colleges are doing. It's destroying the medical community. And it has to stop. You guys are giving licenses and RNs to women and men out there who do not have no business having them. Honestly, I would say even do like a personality check. If they're angry, bitter people, nope, you're out the door. Because the hospital doesn't need angry, bitter people. They need people who are actually going to take care of their patients. Who are going to see to it that regardless of their circumstances, regardless of the situations that they're facing, they're going to get the compassion and the love and the help that they need. Not these angry, detestful, bitter people. Come on now, y'all got to do better. And I'm going to go to the media if y'all don't quit. Straight up.
You guys got to share. Mommy, is that carrot, please, mommy?
No.
You want the